Yeah. Okay, fine. So hospitality firms have got, hospitality, leisure, retail have got grants. I know with the business that we run, you could argue that an events business, part of it is, might be leisure, but I know that we won't and haven't automatically received any grants. Have you seen anybody manage to sort of argue the case that might be operating a business within buildings that are of a different use class to those three, but they've sort of managed to say, well, my business comes under that category and therefore I'm due a grant?
I've seen people. So the first thing to note is that all local authorities and councils have been set targets by the government in terms of how much of the funds they need to distribute. So I was talking to the finance director at Pickering City Council yesterday, in fact, and we're doing pretty well. I think he said 45 or 50% of the grant had already been distributed, and the government has given us a target to distribute 90% by the end of the month. So by
Okay.
the 1st of April, we must distribute 90% of that particular grant. So
Yeah.
if people haven't applied, don't wait for the council to contact you. If you go onto the council's website, any council's website, they should have a link there for you to apply and to give them your bank account details. Yesterday, I was doing something for a client and speaking to the council, and what they are saying is if the property isn't registered as a retail, hospitality, or a leisure business, it's unlikely they will get the £25,000 loan, but they can put a case forward, and the council is willing to consider the basis of their case based on the merits of the case. So
Okay. And who would people ring? Is it done through the business rate section, or who would they ring?
this is done through the business rates department. So
Yeah.
most councils have an email address which is usually business.rates@abc.council.gov.uk.
Okay.
That's how it's done. But the £25,000 grant, which I know you know already, Mark, but for the benefit
Yeah.
of our listeners, is only available to those businesses who have a rateable value of more than 15,000 but less than 51,000.
Okay.
If they have a rateable value of less than 15,000 and they qualify for small business rates relief or rural rates relief, then they get £10,000 and not £25,000.
How about if they've got multiple buildings, and some of the buildings are below the 51 and some aren't?
They're, they It's interesting you ask that question because different councils are treating those properties differently. So some are saying, and the word that's used in the legislation is herediments. Some are
Yeah.
saying that's okay. Some are interpreting saying, no, we're only going to give it to you for one property. But there's a case to be made to say every property is a different hereditament, therefore every property should qualify.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. And then are there any other, I mean, that's sort of the grant, but then there's a business rates holiday for 12 months. So does that sort of follow if it's,
That
you've
follows,
managed?
and that applies automatically to those three sectors. Plus, if you have a children's day nursery, it applies to that too. The
Okay.
council will not issue you with a council tax bill. They will advise you automatically that you've got a 12-month holiday.
Okay. Serviced accommodation, how are you finding that in terms of the grant?
So those businesses that were listed as at the 11th of March are okay. Those who aren't listed, they then obviously need to speak to the valuations office to get listed. And if they can get listed and they can backdate their claim to the 11th of March, they'll be okay. If they can't, they're going to struggle.
So,
I'm working on one right now, in fact, and they applied for business rates 12 months ago.
oh,
And the
okay.
council,
So,
and the council haven't responded yet, so we're working on that.
so what about if somebody was operating the serviced accommodation apartment, and it'd been operating like that for a couple of years, but they've been paying council tax?
They don't qualify unless they can speak to the VOA and say they should have been paying business rates in the past or from the 11th of March, and they get registered and listed for business rates, and then they can go to the council and make a case. But if they're just paying council tax, it's not going to work.
So I suppose if they showed a load of tenancies and sort of evidence to show that in the previous 2 years, or at least by the 11th of March, they've been operating it as a serviced accommodation, the VOA may change the rating.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And I've seen that happen on a few occasions, not many, but on a few occasions.
And then backdate it.
Yes.
And get the grant.
Then apply to the council, obviously, and then yes, they'll obviously put you on business rates and apply for the grant.
Okay. How are you finding sort of VAT deferrals and national insurance, and PAYE sort of time to pay? Are HMRC being receptive?
I thought I'd never see the day where I say, Mark, HMRC have been fantastic, but they really have. They've been really, really good. They're obviously VAT's been deferred for any payments due by the 30th of June to 31st of March 2021, which is great. They are very happily and easily and flexibly and comfortably agreeing to time to pay arrangements.
I got that from your post, your Facebook post. I rang the number, and
Did it work?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Same with CIS payments. We've done those, and they've been very.
Oh, have you? I've been paying mine. Yeah.
They've been very reasonable with that too. I've got 2 R&D tax credit reclaims.
Good. Are they chunky?
Really chunky. One is £950,000.
Really? What sort of business?
Massive. They're in the recycling business.
Yeah.
And the other one is in the retail business, and their claim, I think, is £225,000.
For what? What sort of thing?
Retail. So they're selling hot tubs, swim spas, that type of stuff.
And they've designed something new.
They've designed something new because they also actually go in and build swimming pools. So they're partly in the construction industry. They changed a few things which weren't readily available in the marketplace, and that's ensured that they can qualify. And there's quite a few different construction firms, in fact, Mark, who can qualify. So that's something for you to look at.
That's what I've been thinking. Yeah.
R&D works incredibly well for the construction industry. So look out for those opportunities. But again, so on the R&D front, HMRC have been very reasonable. VAT, PAYE, corporation tax, the whole lot, they've been really good. They have been good.
Okay. In terms of sort of rolling R&D claims out to other types of businesses, what sort of other businesses would qualify? Because I know we do a lot with capital allowances, but I've done a lot less with R&D. I was talking not so long ago to a company about potentially doing one on a steel frame and the design of it. What sort of other businesses have you dealt with on the R&D front?
Pretty much. So first of all, you've got to have a limited company. So if you're a sole trader partnership, it doesn't apply to you. But we've done all sorts from retail, cash and carries, hospitality, leisure businesses, an IT business, an online business. So we do quite a few R&D claims, and we've done it over a spectrum of different businesses. So this isn't for businesses which has scientists or people wearing white coats in labs. This applies to normal trading businesses, and you'll be surprised. Pretty much everybody ends up doing something which is different and outside the norm, which enables them to qualify for R&D tax credits. It could be that you've changed your systems and processes, and you've you bought some software and it didn't quite work, and then you got to add something on or change it, which then enables you to qualify for R&D. Let me give you an example. We have I've got a chain of day nurseries, or a client who's got a chain of day nurseries. They've got 16 day nurseries, and they bought some software which wasn't working. They then had to change and develop it further, and their claim was, I think, about £80,000.
Really?
Now, who would imagine a day nursery would qualify for R&D? Because people usually think that type of business doesn't apply.
And what was it that they were doing that was sort of
they,
development of something new?
so they bought some software, but
Yeah.
that software didn't do exactly what they wanted to do. So they then approached a developer and said, we need 2 or 3 additional things, which is quite unique in their business. So that developer then developed those additional tools for them to use, and that enabled them to qualify for R&D.
So it was the cost that the money they spent on that development.
On the development, and yeah.
And then what rate do they get relief at?
Now you're asking. Anybody who's heard me speak at Progressive knows I never remember rates. I think if you want a refund, I think it's 14%, but I don't remember. I don't remember the rate.
Yeah. Okay. We can go into that into some more detail.